All right, guys, so welcome. We are going to be focusing on exercises today that will help improve your foot drop. So essentially, the theme is going to be lifting your leg more. So I'm going to do a quick demonstration first as to why we're doing the exercises that I chose for today, and then we're just going to get right to it. There's 3 strengthening and 2 stretching exercises, so 5 total. We'll do 2 rounds and see where we're at. If we've got time for a third, we'll go ahead for a third. Let me back up and we will get started. You will be needing a cane or some type of non-stretchy strap for a calf stretch at the end. So what I want to explain first, or remind you hopefully, is that when you have foot drop, if you're walking and you have foot drag, where you're dragging your foot, or foot drop, where you're landing with your toes first instead of your heel, or foot slap, where maybe you do land with your heel, but it slaps down so you can hear yourself walking. There's several things that we can do for that. First and foremost, we can strengthen our ankle. So we can practice lifting our ankle up. So that's going to be one of our exercises. But there's 2 other major things that we can do to lift our leg more when walking. This also applies if you have hip circumduction going out to the side. The 2 things that we can do are bend our knee more. The more we can bend our knee, the more clearance we have, regardless of if we can lift our ankle up or not. So bending our knee. And then the third thing is lifting our knee, this marching movement. So the 3 strengthening exercises we're going to do today are going to be focused on lifting the ankle, bending the knee, and marching the knee. Because if you can do those 3 things, even just slightly better than you can now, you will notice an improvement in your walking. I'm really exaggerating. Ooh, this is my balance. I'm really exaggerating just to show you what the movement is, but just do the best that you can. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to move my camera just slightly. Okay, so as always, we're going to start with cardio. So sit up nice and tall, your best posture. Shoulders down away from your ears, belly muscles a little bit taut, you just feel them activated. Hands in light fists, and go ahead and swing those arms. Swing, swing, swing. Remember, the goal is cardio, so just get those arms moving in a way where it increases your heart rate. Maybe you're moving faster than normal, or more power, or more motion. Whatever works for you. Keep going here. We're going to do 5 faster seconds at the end. In 3, 2, 1, go fast for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow it down. Then stop and shake out your arms. You can go around a little. Moving on to our next one, which is forward punches. So go ahead and join me when you're ready. Your hands are just in very light fists. Don't squeeze too hard. Punch, punch, punch. Ideally at shoulder height. Go at a fast enough pace where your heart rate is increasing. If this bothers your shoulders for any reason, just come down towards your knees, but you're still keeping a tall posture. Your abdominals are nice and tight. Keep going. We will do 5 faster seconds as well. I'll count you down when we're ready. We're not there just yet. Keep going. Keep those ab muscles tight, shoulders down, away from your ears. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go fast. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then slow it down and stop. Shake it out. Take out those hands, those arms. And the final cardio one we're going to do today is our reach and pulls. So you're going to reach overhead and pull down. Reach and pull. If you have any shoulder limitations that prevent this from happening, just don't reach as high. So forehead and down is just as effective. Reach, pull, reach, pull. So once you got it, go faster. Try to go as fast as you can. We're doing this for cardio. And just as a reminder, the reason we always start with cardio is because research shows that it will prime your brain for neuroplasticity, meaning doing cardio before these MS-specific exercises will make it more likely that your brain will strengthen the neural pathways that you already have or find brand new neural pathways. Keep going. We're going to go our fastest in 3, 2, 1, and go faster. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slow it down and stop and shake everything out. Nice job. Take a sip of water if you have it nearby. We'll get started. All right, so we're going to start. I'm going to face this side so I feel like you can see it a little bit better. We're going to start with our ankle, then move up to our knees, and then our hip, and we're going to stretch it out and repeat. We're going to do 10 repetitions of each of these exercises. So for the first one, you can be sitting up nice and tall. I prefer this position because you're automatically working your core muscles. But if you're feeling more fatigued today, you can absolutely do this up at the back of your chair, but still have a good posture. I don't want anyone rounding. So you're up in a good posture. Feet are flat on the ground. Now extend your knees away from you. Your feet should still be flat on the ground. I don't want anyone's toes up. But the straighter your knees are, the easier this exercise will be. And the easier it is, the more repetitions you can do with good quality, which is the main goal. So once you're here, we're going to lift both of our ankles up at the same time. Heels stay down, toes slowly come up, and then slowly go down. If it's easier for you to do one side than the other, then I want you to do 5 on one side and then switch and do 5 on the other, but stay at my pace. All right, here we go. Fix your posture, shoulders down away from your ears. Let's go ahead and lift slowly up, pause, and slowly down. Good, that's 1, slowly up. Just slowly up helps with lifting your ankle to reduce foot drop. Slowly down helps reduce foot slap. And up, slow. It should take at least 3 seconds to raise and then 3 seconds to lower. Slowly up. Pause. Slowly down. Slowly up. This is number 5. So if you are doing just one leg at a time, once your foot is down, go ahead and switch to the other side. Slowly up and down. Slowly up and down. Slowly up and down. We've got 2 more. Slowly up and down. Last one, slowly up and down. And now relax. Hopefully that felt tiring for you. Now you'll know you're doing that correctly if you mostly felt it in the front of your ankle. Those are the muscles that should be working. Maybe a little bit the front of your shin, but mostly the front of that ankle. Okay, now one of the other movements I said would make lifting your leg easier was bending your knee. So we're all going to scoot back as far as we can towards the back of our chair. And I will say I'm only 5 feet 2 inches tall, so my feet do not fully touch the ground, which makes it easier for me. If you've got longer legs and your feet are fully on the ground, you might need to make this easier by putting something slippery under your foot. So I'm on carpet right now. Something that can make this slippery is a plastic grocery bag. If you are on a tile or hardwood floor, you could use a sock or a dish towel. So do whatever you feel would make this easiest. We're all at the back of our chair, tall posture, shoulders down, and tighten your belly muscles. From here, we're going to bend one knee as far as you can, and then relax. And when you're all the way back at the back of your chair, you can't really bend that far. So what you're doing is you're pressing into the chair wherever you land. If you have an open chair like me, you might look like me. But if you are on a couch or something that doesn't have an opening, just press back into the couch. You'll know you're doing it right if you feel the back of your knee and back of your thigh muscles firing. We're going to do 10 each side, alternating. So good posture, shoulders down, core is tight. And when you're ready with one leg, pull it back and relax. Then the other leg, pull, 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 relax. Pull, push, push, push into the chair, relax. Pull back, relax. So we're only holding for about a second or two. Pull, 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 relax. Pull, relax. Pull, relax. Pull, relax. Pull, keep going, relax. Even if there's zero movement or very, very little movement, it's still worth practicing this exercise. Relax. The only way to engage the muscles that bend your knee is to practice bending your knee. So whatever movement you have right now, even if it's no movement, is good. We got to strengthen those neural pathways. Relax. Pull. Relax. One more each side. Pull. Relax. Last one. Pull. Relax. And let your legs hang loose. Our hamstring muscles can cramp pretty easily. So if that happens to you, just shake your legs out. You can do a hamstring stretch if you'd like. Next one is marching. The more you can march your leg like this, the better you can lift your leg when moving forward. So we're going to do seated marching. You're going to scoot to the middle of your chair, so you're unsupported again. Sitting up in your best posture. And we're going to do alternating sides. Let me face you guys for this one. All right, so alternating sides. So you're at the middle or edge of your chair, up tall. You're going to lift one leg up and then down, and then the other leg up and down. But if you feel like it's impossible, it's just so hard, or you can't do it with good quality, then I want you to scoot back and recline. Reclining, where you're angled backwards, makes this easier. And so it's the same thing, but you're back this way. So you're going to march here and then up and down. So again, whether you have a good amount of movement or no movement or somewhere in between, you still do this exercise. You have to practice using your hip flexors. So you can recline or sit up tall. For this round, I'm going to do the reclining option. So even if you're reclined, you still have good posture. You're not slouching. So good posture, tighten your belly muscles. Everyone activate your core. And when you're ready, let's start with one leg, lift it up as high as you absolutely can and slowly down. We want control. Other leg, slowly up and slowly down. Slowly up and down. So do the best you can. Good quality is the main thing we're going for here. Slowly up and down. If you have a leg that is not moving as much as the others, what you can do is place your fingers on your hip flexors. And your goal is just that you feel the muscles pop into your hands. You feel them activating. Lift. Down, we're halfway. Keep your belly muscles nice and tight. And down. Lift. And down. You can see I'm not lifting as high. My hip flexors aren't getting tired as we go. Lift. And down. Lift. Down, two more. Lift, keep your belly muscles nice and tight. Up and down. One more each side. Up, down. Last one. Up and down. And relax. Now you can just let your belly muscles hang out. You can slouch if you want. Shake everything out. So those are the strengthening exercises. Now we're going to do 2 stretching exercises before we do our second round. So we're going to do a calf stretch because if your calf muscles are tight, it will cause foot drop. So we want to stretch out those muscles. We're also going to do a hip flexor stretch because if your hip flexors are tight, it's going to make movement forward much harder. So we're going to stretch those 2 areas. So I'm going to grab my cane But again, you can use anything that's not stretchy. Sit at the edge of your chair and extend one leg out in front of you. It doesn't matter which leg it is, but one leg is out. And then with your cane or your strap, I want you to put it under the balls of your feet and pull towards you, and then sit up as tall as you can. You'll know you're doing this right if you feel some type of stretch in the back of your lower leg, the back of your calf. And just hold here. Now, my calf muscles are really tight, but if you are more flexible than me, I'm not going to do this, but you can stay up tall, keep a flat back, and you can hinge forward. So if I stop using my cane, I can show you. So you would hinge forward like this. But you can keep the cane there as you do it. That would just be too much of a stretch for me personally. Hold, hold, hold. Just a little bit longer. Okay, and now we'll let the cane or the strap go. Slouch, so the strap goes away. Try your best not to use your hands as you bend that knee and bring it in. Now, same thing on the other side. Straighten that leg out. Try your best not to use your hands. When you're there, place whatever it is you're using, a cane, a strap, under your feet. Pull towards you. If you need more of a stretch, sit up tall. If you need even more of a stretch, hinge forward. Flat back, but hinge forward. The reason that I like to say don't use your hands as you bend your knee or don't use your hands as you straighten is because it's so important that we implement these exercises that we're doing. You want to do the exercises, but you also want to implement them into your day-to-day life. A little bit longer here. And relax so you can bring that cane or strap away, round to make sure the stretch goes away. Try your best not to use your hands as you pull that knee back in. Now, sometimes it's not going to be possible. It's the attempt that matters. Okay, so we're done with our cane. Our hip flexor stretch is, thanks you guys, to stretch the front of our hips. So my favorite way to do this in a seated position, open your knees wide as you can. Then you're going to hold on to the front of your chair and the back of your chair and pivot. So your front knee falls down. Awesome. You guys look great. The front knee is down. Once you're in this position, tuck your butt under. So almost like you're making a C with your spine. And you should feel the stretch in that front hip or even the front part of your thigh. You'll feel it wherever you are tightest. Both are good options. And we'll just hold here. And relax. So stop tucking, just go loose, go limp. Hold on to the chair, and you're just going to pivot all the way over to the other side. So the opposite leg is in front. And I forgot to mention this before, but if your leg is bouncing at all, it's likely because of the angle of your ankle. So you can flatten your foot down if you have the strength and mobility to do that. Once you're here, tuck your butt under, really round your body and hold here. And again, you should feel this in the front of your hip. This is going to help a ton, not only with lifting your leg, but also with posture so that you're standing and walking with an upright, tall posture, not hinging or rounding forward. A few more seconds here. And relax. Let that leg relax, hips relax. Pivot all the way back to the center. You can close your legs, shake everything out. And we're gonna go for round 2. So we got 3 strengthening exercises, 3 stretches, or 2 stretches, and then we're gonna end with an extra stretch too. Take a sip of water if you do have it nearby. If you do feel like you need to take a stretch of any kind, just take this next 30 seconds or so to do that. Could be a leg stretch, whatever feels good to you. And we'll get back to it. All right. So we're going to start right back up at the top with ankle dorsiflexion. So that's the lifting your ankles up and down. And remember, even though we're doing it seated like this or with both legs, the moment that we use this strength in walking is right here. We had bent our knee, we lift it there and keep it lifted, then we slowly lower. That's why we slowly lift and slowly lower with our seated exercise. So let's get to it. When you're ready, sitting up middle or edge of your chair, shoulders down, belly muscles nice and taut, and then extend your knees just a little bit further away from you. If I haven't said this already, it's worth mentioning. The easier the exercises are for you, the more you can do with good quality. And the more you can do with good quality, the more opportunities to strengthen those neural pathways. So making an exercise easier is smart. It's not cheating. It's not taking the easy way out. It's the good thing to do. Okay, so feet are further away from you. You're up tall, shoulders down, abs are tight. When you're ready, let's lift both feet slowly up. Pause, slowly down. Slowly up. And if you want to do 1 foot at a time, that's fine too. Just switch halfway, slowly down. Slowly up. Pause, slowly down. Slowly up. Pause, slowly down. Slowly up. Pause, slowly down. This is 5. So if you did 1 foot, go ahead and switch to the other. Slowly up. Slowly down. Slowly up. Also, you don't have to follow me with my arms. I always forget that I do this with my arms. It's just to show you guys what my ankles are doing. And sometimes I'll look at what everyone's doing and people are following what my arms are doing too. You can if you want, but you don't need to. And slowly down. 1 more. Slowly up. Let's hold longer if possible. Hold, 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 hold. Keep holding. Hold, hold, hold. And slowly down. Relax. Let yourself slouch. Belly hangs out. Worst posture. It's really important that we relax our muscles after we use them. We don't want them staying tight and active the whole time. Okay, next one is bending our knee. So we're gonna scoot all the way back and have good posture. Just because we have support doesn't mean we can round. So sitting all the way back, and you're gonna bend one knee as much as possible and then relax, and then same thing on the other leg. We're gonna do 10 times each leg. If you do get a cramp at all, sometimes that happens to me more days than others, just stop, shake out your legs, massage if you need to, and then just jump back in when you can. All right, here we go. So good posture, abs are activated, and when you're ready, bend and relax. We're only holding for a second. Bend your other leg, relax. Bend, 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 keep going, relax. Bend, relax. We're halfway through. Bend. And again, same as the marching. Even if there's 0 movement, still do the exercise. Bend. Relax. You should mostly be feeling this behind your knees or behind your thigh. Bend. Relax. Keep your belly muscles tight. Bend. Relax. One more each side, bend, relax, and last one, bend, relax, and then slouch, let yourself relax. All your body muscles just go limp. And we're gonna move on to the marching. So the options for marching, again, just showing you from the side, you can either be sitting up tall. This is the hardest option if that's what you're going for, or, oh, sorry, and it would look like this. So you bend your knees up or scoot back and recline. And you can be as reclined as you want, but do make sure you activate your belly muscles, tighten them, because otherwise you might have some low back tension, which we don't want. So you can be reclined and it will look like this. Now I am going to show you one other option. If both of those are way too challenging, if you are safe to do so, you can try this in a standing position. Oftentimes standing is easiest, and that's because when you're standing, your legs are at a more extended position, and it can be easier to bend from an extended position. So if you want to, if you feel safe, grab onto some form of support and you can do the exercise this way. This does make balance a little bit more challenging, so be mindful of that, but that would be another option. I'm going to do the reclined version again. Choose whichever one you have your best quality with. So, recline back. Ab muscles are nice and taut. You can hold onto your chair or place your hands on your lap. And when you're ready, let's go ahead and lift and down. Other side, lift and down. So lift as high as you can, really exaggerate the movement and down. Lift and down. We're not really holding for that long, maybe a second max. Down, lift, down, lift, down, lift, down. This is 5, down, lift, down. We're halfway, 5 more, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So you can go at your own pace if you want, but it should be slow and steady. Keep those ab muscles tight, lock them again in case you've relaxed them. Up, down, up, down. One more each side, up, down. Last one, up and down. And relax. If you recline backwards, that may have even felt like an abdominal ab exercise for you as well. Okay, good job, guys. Shake that out. We're going to go back to our stretches. Let me just do a time check. So we're going to end with these stretches, and then we're going to do 2 extra stretches. So if you're watching the recording and you have time to do another round, go for it. We'll just do that for today, but end with more stretches to help with walking and lifting your leg. So go ahead and grab your cane or your strap. We'll start with our calf stretch. Sitting up nice and tall. And extend one leg. Try your best not to use your hands. Extend one leg away from you. You can use your cane to grab underneath the balls of your feet or your yoga strap, something that's not stretchy. Pull towards you and then sit up tall. As with the first time, if you're more flexible, go ahead and hinge forward. That's a little too much for me, but it might be good for you. You should feel this stretch anywhere on the back of your calf. The reason I suggest not using a stretchy strap is because if you do, it ends up being more of a bicep exercise for your arms and less of a stretch for your ankle. All right, and when you're ready, go ahead and slouch. Let that cane or strap go. Try your best not to use your hands as you pull it in. And then extend the other leg out. Once you're there, put the strap or the cane back where you want it. around the balls of your feet and pull towards you. Then sit up tall. And again, just as a reminder, this is a really important stretch if you have foot drop, because when the calf muscles are tight, it pulls the ankle down, which just reinforces exactly what foot drop is, where your foot drops or falls down. All right, and relax your back and let go of that strap. We're done with that for today. We're gonna do our hip flexor stretch. Thanks, you guys. So you're sitting at the edge, up nice and tall, separate your knees. And by the way, if you have a tendency for your knees to kick inward, just staying here is a great stretch for your inner thigh. You could even hinge forward if you wanted to. So take this time now if you want to do that, but we're going to move on to the hip flexor stretch if you want to follow me. So you're going to pivot to one side. So if you're on a chair without armrest, you've got one leg on one side of the chair and the other leg is in front. If you are on a couch or a wheelchair or a chair that does have armrest, it's the same position, but instead of one leg being on the edge of the chair, it would just be in front. So instead of here, it's here. Once you're there, tuck your butt under, make a C with your spine, and hold. And again, you should feel this stretch in the front of your hip or down towards your thigh. And relax. You can stop tucking your butt under, relax your body, anchor your hands down again, and swivel over to the other side. All right. And once you feel stable, go ahead and tuck your hips under. And you should feel the stretch in the front of your hip. If for some reason you don't, you can shimmy this leg further behind you and then tuck. But it's that tuck that's the most important part. And hold. And relax. So that leg can relax, relax your hips, swivel back to the front, legs can come together. We're gonna do two final stretches together. And these are also ones that help with your walking. So the first is gonna be for our hamstring. If our hamstring muscles are tight, it can make bending your knee hard, but it can also make straightening your knee to put your leg down really hard because your knee stays bent. So if you have a flexible hamstring, this movement right here as we're walking can be easier. So let's start with that one. You don't need a strap or a cane if you don't want. I'm not going to use one. You're going to put one leg out, just like we did for the calf stretch, but relax your ankle. It doesn't matter what your ankle is doing. Both hands are stacked and placed on the opposite lower thigh. Sit up tall and then hinge forward. And you should feel some type of stretch anywhere between the back of your knee and the back of your butt. Anywhere in there is fair game. and sit up tall. So if you were hinging, come back up, slouch. Try your best not to use your hand as you bring your leg in and straighten the other leg out. Once you're there, hands are stacked, placed on the opposite lower thigh. Sit up as tall as you can. And if you need more of a stretch, go ahead and hinge. And when you're ready, stop hinging. So sit up tall, slouch, and you can not use your hands, bring your leg in. The last stretch I want to do is for our glutes. Our glute muscles are part of our core, and the more flexible they are, the more mobile we'll be, the easier movement is. So you're going to take one leg and put that ankle on top of the lower knee, on top of the lower thigh, right above the knee. And make sure that this leg is dead weight. It should not be working any of its muscles right now. From here, sit up tall. Now I have really tight hip muscles, so I always feel this as soon as I sit up tall. You should feel it anywhere in your outer hip or even your outer thigh. If you do need more of a stretch, keep a flat back as you hinge forward. All right, I could do this forever, but when you're ready, sit up tall and slouch, then slowly lower that leg, grab the other leg, however you can, doesn't need to look pretty. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if it's too hard to grab the leg, you can just cross it over the lower ankle, and it's the same thing, you would just sit up tall and hinge. But if you can grab the leg, you can pull it up here. Okay. So once you're here, remember this leg is completely dead weight. Once it's there, sit up tall. You should feel this on the outer part of your hip. If you need more of a stretch, go ahead and hinge forward. You guys stay put. I'm going to turn my chair to face you. The reason I call this a figure 4 stretch is because you kind of look like the number 4 if this leg was straight. I don't know if that's backwards or not for you guys. Just a few seconds longer. Remember, this leg should be dead weight. Sometimes if you're not focusing on relaxing it, it will start to tighten without you even noticing it. All right, and when you're ready, sit up tall, slouch. You want to get rid of the stretch before you let the leg down. Nice job. Shake everything out. If there is another stretch you want to do, you can take this time now. Maybe it's a twist, maybe it's a neck stretch, maybe it's a leg stretch. Next always feels nice. And I've just got one last thing that I want to leave you guys on. So feel free to keep stretching if you'd like. I'm just going to come a little closer, share my final tip of the day with you guys. And this is a tip that I have shared before, but it's worth mentioning as often as possible, especially after a class like this. So the tip is, it's important to exercise, as we all know, with exercises like we just did, which are neuroplasticity based, functional, MS specific. But it's equally as important, as I mentioned during class today, to implement it throughout your day. So, for example, when you're walking around today, maybe you focus a little bit more on marching while you're walking. Really lift your knee up towards the ceiling with every step. Or maybe you focus on bending your knee while walking more. So, you can do these seated exercises, but you can also implement them into your day. And the reason that's so important is because oftentimes that's what your neural pathways need to get that carryover. Otherwise, you might find yourself in a position where you can march decent sitting down, but not at all standing up. And so you can practice the exercises in the exact position that you actually need them in.